Imagine waking up every day with a sense of purpose, joy, and abundance, ready to take on any challenge. Now bring that vision into the present moment as you watch this video. I want you to picture yourself kicking those destructive habits to the curb and replacing them with ones that will help you succeed in Stoic philosophy. As Epictetus famously said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." Therefore, start changing now by kicking bad habits to the curb, and keep in mind that small beginnings lead to great endings. People are believed to possess the ability to shape their destiny through their thoughts, actions, and choices. Come on, let's do it. I would like to begin by saying that this message is specifically for you. I understand that there are millions of videos available online, and you could have easily chosen to watch something else, but you chose to stay here, and I am grateful for that. Please allow me to express my gratitude for your valuable time. I would like to ask you a favor. I want you to commit to yourself right now. That commitment is to watch this video through to the end, because you are an exception and should act accordingly. You should treat yourself differently and devote your time and attention to yourself. You are not like the other people. Larry 1. Excessive materialism. This is a common problem in modern society, where people frequently mistake wealth and material possessions for success and happiness. Stoics, on the other hand, contend that these pursuits can cause unhappiness and take away from meaningful experiences. To combat excessive materialism, one must adopt a more minimalist mindset that emphasizes experiences, relationships, and personal development. Refocusing one's attention from external success markers, such as possessions, status, or appearances, to what matters, is an effective way to reduce materialistic tendencies. People should concentrate on developing their inner virtues, such as courage and wisdom, fairness, and moderation. You can achieve a greater sense of fulfillment through virtue prioritization that is not possible with just material goods. Simplifying one's lifestyle is another way to overcome excessive materialism. This might entail living frugally, reducing consumption, and downsizing. People can do this by placing less value on material possessions and more emphasis on experiences and relationships that truly satisfy them. Furthermore, expressing gratitude for what you already have can increase contentment and lessen the need for new purchases. It's crucial to understand that material possessions by themselves are not problematic. Rather, it's the attachment and obsession with them that can cause unhappiness. To address this problem, people can practice non-attachment by realizing that material possessions are ephemeral and transient. By embracing this idea, they can let go of their attachment to things and see them as resources or tools to be used rather than as sources of identity or self-worth. 2. Seeking external. The constant pursuit of other people's approval and validation can be an alluring habit that many people struggle with, but it can have detrimental effects on our mental health and general well-being when we rely too heavily on it. When we do this, we can easily grow dependent on other people's opinions and approval, which means that our happiness becomes correlated with things outside of ourselves and can cause feelings of insecurity and unhappiness when those things are absent or taken away. Stoic philosophy places more emphasis on inner contentment and self-validation than it does on seeking validation from others. By fostering virtues like wisdom, courage, and justice, we can find a sense of fulfillment and satisfaction within ourselves. This kind of self-reliance allows us to maintain our sense of happiness, even in the face of adversity or criticism from others. Stoics encourage us to concentrate on developing our inner strength and character. Seeking external validation from others can have detrimental effects on our relationships in addition to improving our mental health. If we constantly look for validation from others, we may come across as needy or insecure, which can harm our relationships and cause others to view us negatively. However, by concentrating on our inner growth and development, we can create stronger and more authentic relationships based on mutual respect and understanding. In general, looking for outside validation can negatively impact our relationships, mental health, and general well-being. Rumination. We can overcome this negative habit and discover true happiness and fulfillment within ourselves by embracing the Stoic philosophy of self-reliance and inner strength. 3. Contemplation. This is a typical behavior that can cause serious emotional distress. Rumination can have a detrimental effect on our mental health and well-being because it causes us to become stuck in negative thoughts that can lead to feelings of guilt, shame, and anxiety. These negative emotions can keep us from moving forward and enjoying life in the present. One useful strategy to stop rumination is to practice mindfulness. Being mindful is essential. Stoic philosophy encourages people to concentrate on their immediate experiences and live in the present. Being mindful teaches us to let go of the past and to stop worrying about the future. Instead, we focus on the here and now and how to deal with it calmly and clearly. By paying attention to our senses, thoughts, and emotions without passing judgment, we can observe our thoughts and gain insight into our thought patterns as well as a greater understanding of our mental and emotional states. We can also practice mindfulness by not getting caught up in our thoughts or reacting impulsively. This improved self-awareness facilitates more efficient thought and emotion regulation, decreasing the occurrence and severity of negative thoughts. Concentrating on the aspects of any given circumstance that we can control helps us stop rumination. Stoicism serves as a reminder that while we cannot alter the past or foresee the future, we can manage how we respond to events by concentrating on our choices and deeds, rather than regretting past transgressions or worrying about the future. Capri 4. Don't be afraid of change. Accepting change can be challenging, particularly if you're accustomed to sticking to tried-and-true routines and habits, but there are times when it's essential for personal development and improvement. Many successful people attribute their success to taking chances and embracing change. So how can you get over your fear of change? First and foremost, it's critical to realize that change is not something to be feared, but rather should be viewed as a chance for learning and growth. By exposing yourself to novel experiences, you can extend your boundaries and uncover previously undiscovered facets of yourself. Additionally, venturing outside of your comfort zone can help you develop resilience and self-assurance. Starting small instead of diving right into a significant life change is a useful tactic for getting over the fear of change. Try implementing little adjustments to your daily schedule or eating habits. For instance, when you see the benefits of these small changes in your life, you'll start to trust yourself more and feel more at ease making larger adjustments. Later on, focusing on the advantages of change, what opportunities might arise for you if you embrace it and how it might better your life or career, is another helpful strategy. You can maintain your inspiration and motivation during this time of change by picturing these beneficial results. Lastly, keep in mind that change is a process rather than a destination. It takes time to adapt and adjust, but if you are persistent and patient, you can get over your fear of change and succeed in new circumstances. Throughout the process, treat yourself with kindness, and don't be embarrassed to ask friends, family, or other professionals. Give up worrying about unimportant things. Excessive worrying about unimportant things is one of the most harmful habits people frequently struggle with. This ongoing state of agitation can be caused by a variety of things, including personal fears or social media gossip, but it's important to realize that a lot of this information is unimportant and does not add to one's happiness or fulfillment. Stoicism teaches us to put more importance on the things in life rather than letting unimportant work-related concerns consume our time and energy. We can teach ourselves to focus on what's important and tune out the noise by developing a Stoic mindset. This doesn't mean we have to cut ourselves off from society entirely. Instead, we should learn to interact with the outside world in a way that preserves our inner peace. To break this habit, we can begin by figuring out where we spend most of our energy on unimportant things. This could be worrying about past mistakes or future events, or it could be checking our phone messages nonstop. When we recognize these patterns, we can use Stoic reasoning to question them. We can ask ourselves if these worries are consistent with our values and objectives and whether they will ultimately make a difference. Setting limits for our attention and time is another useful strategy. By limiting our exposure to anxiety-inducing factors like certain social media platforms and excessive TV viewing, we can reduce our vulnerability to anxiety. By making time for introspection and mindfulness, we can develop an inner calm that will make it easier for us to deal with unforeseen obstacles. In the end, the secret to breaking the habit of worrying about unimportant things is to gain a deeper understanding of what matters in life. By taking a Stoic perspective, we can learn to focus our energy on things that foster growth, joy, and interpersonal connections. With constant practice and effort, we can also change our minds and hearts to live more purposefully and authentically. 6. Never take retribution. According to Stoic philosophy, seeking revenge may provide momentary satisfaction, but it ultimately has detrimental effects on both parties involved. It is far more important to prioritize the well-being of others and achieve inner peace. Rather than pursuing retribution, a vicious cycle of hurt and negativity can be started by seeking revenge, which can also result in feelings of guilt, shame, and regret. Moreover, seeking revenge takes up a lot of mental and emotional energy that could be used to achieve constructive objectives. The Stoics hold that people should strive to be morally and virtuously in all that they do. They also hold that forgiveness can be a powerful tool for achieving inner peace and moving forward, because it frees us from the burden of holding grudges and allows us to move on. Finally, forgiveness fosters compassion, empathy, and understanding, qualities that are necessary for creating healthy relationships. Quit squandering your time. Since time is limited, the Stoics believed that each person should use it wisely. Sadly, many of us waste time on things that don't advance our personal development or general well-being. Here are some strategies to break this pattern and maximize your time. First, decide what your priorities are and give them your whole attention. The Stoics held that people should concentrate on what they could control, so we should do the same. Figure out what matters to you and spend your time in that way. Eliminate any activities that conflict with your beliefs or objectives. Second, take the initiative to solve problems rather than waiting for things to happen. Take action to achieve your objectives. The Stoics hold that virtue has its reward and that we can find contentment and satisfaction by working toward our goals. Last but not least, cultivate gratitude. By focusing on what we have rather than what we lack, we can cultivate a sense of contentment and appreciate life's blessings. Time is a valuable resource that we only have so much of. So by putting Stoic principles into practice, we can make the most of every moment and lead more fulfilling lives. So begin today by determining your priorities, proactively approaching and practicing problem-solving. 8. Give up, trying to find issues. When we adopt a problem-solving mindset, we move from a place of reactivity to a place of proactivity. One way to achieve this is by reframing the way we think about problems. Instead of viewing them as negative experiences, we can view them as challenges to be overcome. With this new perspective, we can approach problems with confidence and determination, knowing that overcoming them will lead to personal growth and development. It's easy to fall into the trap of constantly searching for problems, but as Stoics teach us, it's far more productive to instead focus on what we can control and work towards solving. Another tactic is to concentrate on the things we can control and let go of the rest. Often, we waste energy worrying about things that are beyond our control, so by letting go of these worries, we free up our attention to concentrate on the things that matter. In addition, we must keep in mind that opportunities often lurk behind obstacles. Ultimately, we should always try to maintain a positive attitude. The Stoics believed that challenges were sent to test our resolve and strengthen our character. 9. Impulsivity. The Stoics encourage their followers to resist this temptation and instead practice a more deliberate and considerate approach to decision-making to overcome impulsivity. It's necessary to slow down and reflect on the potential consequences of our actions before taking them. Impulsivity is a common habit that frequently leads to poor decisions and regret. This entails asking ourselves whether the action we want to take is consistent with our values and long-term objectives. It also entails weighing the advantages and disadvantages relative to one another. Stoics place a strong emphasis on distancing oneself from one's emotions and viewing situations, objectively because they think that emotions can impair judgment and cause people to make irrational decisions. This is not about completely repressing feelings. Rather, it's about learning to identify and accept them without letting them control how we behave. Developing self-discipline, or the capacity to put off short-term pleasure in favor of longer-term gains, is another essential component of conquering impulsivity. For instance, someone who wishes to save money should fight the impulse to spend it now and instead set it aside for later. Along with these useful techniques, it's critical to develop inner tranquility and peace of mind. This is achieved by accepting the things in our lives that we cannot alter and concentrating on the things that we can. By living in harmony with the natural world and appreciating the moment as it is, we can cultivate a sense of clarity and calmness that helps us make wiser decisions. Overall, overcoming impulsivity necessitates dedication to deliberate, thoughtful decision-making, and a readiness to practice self-discipline. By adopting the Stoics' wisdom, we can learn to withstand the lure of instant gratification and instead select a course that results in greater success and fulfillment. 10. Quit whining. This is a behavior that a lot of people have trouble with. We may whine about our jobs, relationships, or anything else that we feel isn't going the way we want it to, but whining rarely results in meaningful solutions and may even make our lives more stressful and negative. By accepting that some things are just beyond our control, we can avoid becoming mired in negative emotions and instead direct our energy toward areas where we can make a difference. Stoicism teaches us to accept what we cannot control and to focus on what we can. Complaining is frequently a manifestation of frustration and anger at things that are beyond our control. If there is something we are unhappy with, we can work to change it instead of focusing on complaining. This may involve looking for new opportunities. There are times when bad things happen to us, and complaining won't make them go away. In these situations, it can be helpful to practice gratitude for what we do have and look for the lessons or opportunities that can come from difficult circumstances. We can turn our situation around and create positive changes in our lives by speaking with others or taking action. Finally, to stop complaining, we must change our perspective from one of negativity to one of positivity and action. By doing this, we can improve our lives and become happier, more fulfilled individuals. Stoicism provides individuals with valuable guidance on habits and behaviors that they should strive to break. By adopting Stoic principles like self-reliance, simplicity, and mindfulness, one can cultivate a life of wisdom, tranquility, and virtue, though breaking these habits may require time and effort. As you work toward a more fulfilling life, remember that Stoicism is about making continuous progress rather than perfection. Thank you for watching, and if this content was helpful to you, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel.